Welcome to another wonderful episode of Write and Shine, Shining Through Your Words, author series. I just want to dive in with the incredible Teresa back. Teresa, welcome back. Happy New
Welcome. Hi,
Year.
everybody. I'm so thrilled to be back. I like we were saying earlier, I truly enjoy our conversations.
It's amazing. And it just gets better and better. So you have to come back again,
Oh,
especially your
you know,
theme, that we love talking about, your superpower, kindness. Teresa, please tell us, for those who haven't heard who you are and what you do, just a brief summary, and we will dive
sure.
into the interview.
What I do is I try to encourage parents to raise kind children. Be the CEO of the family, determine your values, your philosophies, and spread that to your children in through kindness. And that it's simple, easy, day to day. I'm not piling a bunch of stuff already on the full plate, but just start simple. And then you will notice as you make it as natural as breathing that you can build on that and be able to be kind even in those awkward, sticky situations.
I absolutely love that. And as I said to you, this is exactly what I want to talk to you about today. Is it the opposite? It's easy to be kind and friendly when you are in a comfortable, just season of your life.
Right.
But when you really go through a tough time like your country currently is going through, I mean, this is extreme trauma, extreme, loss. How can we even use the word kindness, in a time like
Yeah.
this with so many people?
Yeah. And, in the California fires, these people have nothing. We talked about that. They don't even think about this. Something you take for granted. You don't even have a toothbrush.
That's heartbreaking.
And
Heartbreaking.
yeah, it's heartbreaking. And that's something we take for granted. I thanked myself for my toothbrush. I thanked God for
Yes.
my toothbrush this morning. I mean, that's
Yes.
just
Yes.
for anybody observing that, because I just couldn't imagine. I was holding it, looking at it, going, I can't imagine that.
Yes.
I can't imagine not being able to go to a closet full of clothes and pick clothes. Think about it.
Yes.
You don't have a closet to go to. You don't have five shirts to pick from.
Yeah.
You have what you're wearing.
Yes.
And I was just really trying to let that sink in. And I thought, these people that have lost their homes, they're walking around in absolute shock.
Yes. Yes.
And it is just really hard to go beyond that. And I get that. It's the people, as we talk about unkindness,
Yes.
it's the arsonists that are trying to create more fire.
Mm.
It's the people going in and stealing.
Yes.
I can't even comprehend why someone would do that. These people have already been victimized by a fire, and you're adding to that. It makes no sense. And I get really angry about that. On the flip side, going to kindness, there are people that have, you've got to thank all the firefighters and
Yes.
all those first responders. They are amazing. They're putting in 12-hour days. I mean, it's been at least a week now,
Yes.
and nonstop, nonstop. And people are coming from Canada and Mexico to help. The other countries are
Yes.
coming to
Yes.
help us. So so those are great big things that are happening. And they said all of a sudden, where the firefighters had gathered,
Yes.
food trucks started to come in. And they just gave everything. And I mean, those are amazing, huge, kind things that go a long, long way. Um, I know you and I were talking. I said, and everybody sits here. What can I do? I want to do something. I want to do something. Yeah, I have organizations that I work with that I are vetted. And so please, again, sadly, there are people taking advantage. So do make sure when you choose an organization to give to that it's vetted and that it will go to the people that need the help.
I
Um,
definitely want to invite you to write, the names for me, and we can post it to your interview
oh,
as
sure.
well. For those,
Yes.
because I know there's a lot of people, like you say, that's doing incredible things, amidst all
Right.
of this. And there's so much kindness. And I do want to ask you, Teresa, for anyone listening that is going through a very tough time and almost, kindness. I mean, it's like it almost, if you say it, it's almost, I don't want to say the word doesn't have a lot of power to it in moments like that, but
Mhm.
it's almost self-kindness. How they still use the word to really help them navigate through these very, very tough times.
Yeah, and taking care of yourself
Yes.
now, and like I said, the people in this situation, they're just in shock. So they need people, they need others to help guide them. But take the time to grieve. You People don't understand. Yes, it's things, but it was a home. It's where a lot of memories were for people. A lot of things. I think Jennifer Gardner had said, yeah, the fire truck, Fourth of July parade right down the street. Think about those kind of things. So yeah, first and foremost, take the time to grieve. It is a huge loss. And know that it takes, as any grief, take months to
Yes.
process all that. So do be aware of that.
That's very
And
wise.
I'm
That you
sorry.
It's so wise that you associate, taking your time to grieve with kindness. It's a lot. That's wisdom. That really is.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah, I just think you have to. And don't rush to get, no, I have to do this right away.
Yes.
Take the time. And everyone's giving those people, the affected people, grace. So give yourself some grace,
Yes.
and if, because I know this works, being kind to your neighbor. I know somebody, if you, when you get to go back to your homes, let's put it that way, because I know they're filtering that because fires are still hot spots. Um, then, you go through your stuff. Maybe your neighbor is disabled or elderly, help them go through their stuff,
Yes.
filter through the ashes, so to speak. Um, and if you can help, get out on the lines with the food trucks. And I know there's different places setting up water and uh, goods that people need. I know I saw a post office had just opened up everything so people could come get their mail.
Wow.
So it will help your frame of mind by helping somebody else. And that is true. And I do know we have talked about this before, about the studies that have been done raising our happy hormones.
Mm.
And it will help your mental health,
Yes.
keep you out of that depression and that anxiety. And sometimes focusing on other people versus your own problems helps.
I
And that
that's
kindness raises that happy hormones.
I love that because then you're not isolated and almost, in that spiral of your own thoughts and the triggers and so it's wonderful that you say that. I also do want to add, anyone who needs help to be open to it. I also think that's kindness to say, listen, I need help, and also to accept it if others give it to you.
Yes, yes, yeah, and yes, and be accepting. And like you said, you've lost your community, but if you're in there helping, you're back in your community.
Yes.
And that does help. And it helps with the grief, but it does help with the anxiety and the stress and the depression that comes along with all of this.
Absolutely. I think, I said to you as well, for me, I don't even watch social media on this stage because I got so upset all the way in South Africa. It's just absolute devastation. But with that,
Mhm.
so much kindness as well. People that, you can see is at shelters, for animals as well. There's so much good
Yes.
around us as well in all these very difficult times.
Yeah, and I will, since you and I are both animal lovers, give the Red Cross a shout out
Oh,
because for the first time in history, they set up a shelter for animals.
that's amazing
Yes.
goosebumps.
Yes. Yes. That was
Wow.
just something I saw on social media. A cat person,
Mm.
his name is Cat Daddy, but he's a big cat guy. And he said, yes, Red Cross set this up for animals. And it's the first time in Red Cross history that they've ever done that.
That is brilliant.
So
I'm so
kudos to
happy.
Red Cross. And
Absolutely.
that is an organization you can donate to, and
That
you
I
know the
wanted to
money's going to go.
add. No, it's wonderful because the animals are such a big part of our lives, and I love that we're talking about them as well to keep them in our
Yes.
thoughts and prayers as well. They went through the same trauma, and it's really just so sad.
Yeah, it is. And I know I saw different firefighters found two dogs and they just picked them up and put them in the fire truck and took them with them. The firefighters not just fighting fires, they're rescuing
Yes,
not just people, they're rescuing the animals. Um,
absolutely, absolutely. Can you hear my dog bark or not?
I did not have not.
Okay, but because my dog is barking all of a sudden, so I was wondering, it's like a
He's
cue, yeah.
cheering them on, I can tell.
That's interesting. But I do want to ask you, Teresa, is, children in all of this, you
Mm,
work with parents to teach them about kindness.
yes.
All of us tuning in as parents, how do you navigate these extreme times, with your children? What do you say, when you are broken, when you are going through all of this? How do you help your children through this?
Yeah, it's tough, especially in this case where schools went up
Yes.
in flames. So
Oh,
their entire structure has went up in flames.
yes.
Um, they don't have a school to go to, and they don't have their sports or their other extracurricular activities they're gone.
Yes.
So you really have to think about how you do speak to your children. Uh, that this is just it's part of life, and things will get better. But in the meantime,
Yes.
until we can get back to some schedule or some normalcy, let's go down to the post office and help pass
Yes.
out water to other people.
Yes.
Let's um, find out can we help Mrs. Jones down the street who was elderly and struggling. Let's go make sure she's okay and has everything she needs. Those kind of things. Just
Yes.
switch the focus from we
Yes.
have nothing to what can we do to help other people.
I love that. And it's such a beautiful way to lead by example, not just to
Mhm.
say, but to actually do something. I remember when I was little, I made little like bookmarks for the elderly, just, and I
Oh
gave it
yeah, yeah, I love it.
just like that was my grandmother's influence. She, if I look at it, she always went to buy groceries for the elderly and stuff. So it really was something implanted in me, and then I just paid it forward almost what I learned from her without words. She didn't really tell me to do things. I just wanted to
Right.
do things. If you think of Princess Diana, what an example
Oh,
for the world, hey?
oh, amazing. She was amazing.
Did you
And
also
I know
have a scrapbook? I had a scrapbook of Diana, you know?
oh, I did not, but I was a follower, a follower, and I did because she did do some
Yes.
amazing things, and somebody just did a little snippet on YouTube, I think, of just how she reached out and touched different people.
Incredible.
So
And
yeah, she was an amazing example. Another thing here in Cincinnati, Ohio, we had a lot of snow.
yes,
And for we had more than 10 inches of snow here. And for us, that's a lot of snow.
it's
We're a 2 to 4 inch region for them. That's our average. And what some people did, and I thought this was a great idea, was they went to nursing homes and built snowmans outside their windows just to
cute.
brighten their day because they
Aw,
couldn't get out. They could, they don't get out very much anyway,
yes,
but in the snow, it was impossible. So that just brightened their day up. So that was just very simple. It was something the kids could do and have fun
yes,
with.
yes.
Um, so yeah, that was something.
I love that so
Other
much.
things you can do with your kids that
Yes,
in it, especially in those tragic, it takes helps them focus. They don't sit there and muddle and just go
exactly.
into that spiral of depression. It gives them something positive to focus on.
I agree. And that's actually, now that I think of it, that's how I started writing. I started
Oh,
writing, the bookmarks and the letters to literally elderly people and people in our community as a little girl, or even
yes.
pen pals. You remember pen pals?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Gosh, that was so long. Oh my gosh. People don't do that anymore.
Exactly. And it was wonderful, because you could write to people and just connect that way, almost like social media now. But it would almost be
Yes.
to really encourage the children. Listen, just draw something for an elderly lady, for example, in an old age home. It would mean the world to them, especially also going through these extreme tough times at the moment.
Yes. Absolutely.
Teresa, if there's anything you would like to share wisdom with for us going into this year, what would you tell us, in terms of kindness, our work, our life, what would you, how can we, it's like a muscle we have to practice.
Yes.
How would you
Kindness
coach
is a
us?
muscle. Kindness is a muscle, and it's something I have done a video on it myself. You're setting your 2025 goals.
Wow,
Make kindness one of those goals.
that's amazing.
Exercise your kindness muscle. Be intentional. If you get up, whether you meditate, whether you pray, and then just say, okay, how can I be kind today? And be intentional about it. And that's writing notes, putting sticky notes, putting messages around your home for your children, but then taking that out into the world. Uh, you almost everybody goes to the grocery store.
Yes,
That's getting the shopping carts, holding doors,
true.
saying, we were talking about this with someone else the other day, how effective smile and hello is.
Oh,
So simple,
wow.
so simple. And I'm not
Yes.
sure if I shared this story with you before or not. And this is a perfect example. Somebody I know had retired and they were bored stiff. So they went and got a job in a parking garage.
Oh,
He
wow.
said, best job he ever had. He has a ball. He loves it. And he took 2 weeks vacation. But when he came back, the clients or the people that customers said, where have you been? I've
Oh,
missed your smile and your good morning. That starts my day. I've had a horrible 2 weeks because I didn't get that.
beautiful. What?
And the guy, and he was so cute. And he said, you kindness lady. He said, you always told me. I never believed it until people
Oh,
told me.
you got this lady.
And I said, so believe it, everybody. Just a simple smile and hello.
It's true.
And that was one thing, something you can practice
I love.
is try to smile and say hi to everybody you pass,
Oh,
anybody you encounter during the day. So that would be a goal for
absolutely.
2025.
What's that movie with the penguins that says smile and wave, boys?
Happy feet. Happy feet. I love that movie.
So that can be your mantra every day. Smile and
Yes. Yes.
wave.
And do the little happy feet too. That would be so
Exactly. But it's to get you into that energy.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
we get so focused, and some days are more overwhelming than others. So I
Yes.
really love that you say it's like it's just a choice almost at the beginning of the day.
Yes, it is. It actually is. But the fun thing is, the more you do it, it
Yes.
becomes as natural as breathing. You just do it,
I love
And I
that.
find somebody said, "Well, you always come up with all these examples," and I said, "That's because I live it. It's my
Yes.
lifestyle, so I see it. I automatically see it. I had to." Because the snow last week was so high, I had to drive my son to work.
Yes.
And we threw a shovel in the car because what if we got stuck?
Yes.
And on the way home, I'm watching the people that parked on the street that are shoveling out their cars. I without just automatically pulled over, pulled the shovel out, and started helping them shovel out their car.
I
But
love
that's
that.
just it.
Yes.
And she was like, "So thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so great." But
Yes.
it's as natural as breathing to me.
It's a
I see it. I see it. I
lifestyle.
just do it. I don't even
Yes.
think about it anymore.
I absolutely love that. I actually went to lunch with a friend recently and we spoke about how unkindness is a deal breaker for us. Overall, work people in our lives, working with unkind people. I almost want to ask you, Teresa, what is unkindness? If we look at that word.
If you're treating someone the way you do not want to be treated, that's unkindness.
That's good.
If you're not lifting someone up,
Yes.
you're not being kind.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really simple. And it's funny, you said lunch. I went out with someone once and they were rude to the server.
Yes.
And it took everything in me to not get up and walk out.
Yes.
I'm like, no, this is a hard no for
Yes.
me.
Absolutely. And you get to a point where you actually maybe will stand up. Depending on the
Yeah,
situations. I'm not
yes,
saying no,
yes,
but it's like,
yes.
yeah, it also like it hurts me if people are unkind, especially to
Hmm.
people who really work hard for their money and tips and stuff. And
Yes,
I started as a server when I was very young. And I
sure.
mean, it's I've only got respect for them, and I also feel kindness is a must when you go out.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There's just no question.
Yes, definitely. How can people buy your book, Teresa, or work with you?
They can buy my Raising Kind Children. Just happen to have a copy. They can buy this on Amazon.
Love it. It's a
And
beautiful cover.
oh, thank you. Thank you. So it's Raising Kind Children, and for parents, it's a quick read. It is simple, easy process that I developed over years of personal experience and research. Um, and it's just a great place to start. And I will also offer people that don't know where to start. It's a list of 75 acts of kindness, and I'll give you the link for that to share as well. And they can download that for free.
Thank you so much. What a way to start our year. Thank you for blessing us and being one of the kindest people I know.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me again. This was great.
I hope you'll be visiting us soon again during the year just to check our kindness, meters on this side.
Just tell me when.
Definitely. Thank you again, Teresa. And for everyone who tuned in today, if you are going through a very tough time, just know that, the biggest thing is to be kind to yourself in all of this, and that our children is watching how we react, how we respond, how kind or unkind we are towards the world, especially in these times. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by these fires. And we do hope that you have a time to heal and to be kind to yourself. Keep on writing and keep on shining, everyone.
Just watch me shine.